Welcome to another Foolish Thoughts episode. This is Joseph Barone, aka A Fool for Learning, your training and learning consultant. And our foolish thought for today is The Gatekeeper, Part 1. For today's episode, I have Sylvester Giustino with me. Sylvester is a government affairs consultant at the Bennett Group, D.C. His practice focuses on appropriations, transportation, labor, energy, state government affairs, crisis communications, and response and political outreach. He has a proven track record as an accomplished association executive. Sylvester has led the advocacy outreach for numerous organizations, securing significant legislative wins while working to rebuild and enhance the reputation of these organizations. He has served as an appointed official at the state and federal level, and he was Deputy Director of the Office of Public Liaison at the U.S. Department of Labor during the previous presidential administration. Mr. Giustino received his bachelor's degree in political science from Rutgers University in New Jersey, and he also worked on political campaigns in New York and New Jersey. And just to let all my listeners know, we are both members of the Lido Civic Club here in Washington, D.C. It is a group of men who are business professionals who look to not only help each other with business, but also do what we can to improve the community through scholarships and assisting a variety of charitable organizations. So, welcome, Sylvester.
Thank you, Joseph. How are you?
I am doing very well, and I'm so glad you could join me today.
No, thank you.
For this first of this three-part series on the Gatekeeper.
Very important.
And so today what we'd like to cover for our listeners to let them know, we're going to talk about what is a gatekeeper. We're going to talk about what is their purpose in an organization. It doesn't matter what type of organization, you have gatekeepers. And we're going to talk a little bit about why are they viewed so negatively. So Sylvester, once again, welcome. And tell my listeners, what is a gatekeeper?
A gatekeeper is, I would determine, a member of a staff of, it could be anybody, who's staffing a principal. Someone who is head of an organization, head of a department. In my business, it's a member of Congress. It's a executive branch official. These are trained professionals that are staffing these individuals, and what their job to do is to be the filter for their principal, to kind of go, okay, well, I may be in charge of communications, or I may handle this legislative issue, and they handle this issue for their member of Congress or for some senior executive within the federal government or state government. And you, as the constituent, may reach out and go, I have a problem. I have a question. I want to bring something to your attention. And then sometimes the staff member, who are very busy, these are folks who have a lot of things to do within a given day, often at times do something and say, well, I don't need to get back to you. And they may not say it in some way, but it could be an attitude. It could be a sort of something that makes you, as somebody who's asking for assistance or looking to get in touch with somebody, that the principal doesn't care about your issue. And it's very, very sad to hear. It's sort of where you go, well, why is this person who is working for this individual not giving me the service that I would give if I was in that position?
Well, interesting. And these gatekeepers, do they have, when you're dealing with them, especially on the Hill, and dealing with other politicians, is it because, do they have a great deal of experience as gatekeepers, or is it a real mix of people?
I would say that most of the folks who work for your member of Congress are very good people. They are smart, they are energetic, they are committed to helping their boss service their constituents. to make a real impact in people's lives. But sometimes they are very busy. They are very busy people who, when you as a constituent come up against, you want to, let's say you want to invite your member of Congress to an event that's happening in your community. And you see him or her at the event and you go, Congressman, I would love to have you come to our event. And he goes, absolutely, I'd love to go. Please talk to this person on my staff. You talk to that person and you hear nothing back. Sometimes that happens because you may think that, wait a minute, he told me to talk to this person. Why is this person not getting back to me? And I think this happens not just in my world, but in other businesses as well, for other individuals. Particularly for those who are leading major corporations or senior executives and companies. They have administrative staffs or people on their teams who are either speak for the organization or work with them. And I'm sure that a lot of your listeners may have come across this in their professional endeavors.
Yeah, I know. I've been the gatekeeper many times for my boss.
Sure.
And sometimes, I'll help them get through to the boss. Other times I have to say no because I know in part the boss is going to say, no, I'm really not interested. And I don't want to waste their time and my boss's time just to go through the motions of saying he's not interested in something.
I think there's a better way of doing that.
Okay.
I think when you're on a staff and you're working in collaboration with the head of an office or head of a division, and somebody comes to you who wants a business opportunity or something. They'd like something out of you, a meeting, something. There's a better way to do it. And there's a maybe a nicer way of doing it in a more collaborative way. But it's the roadblock that one runs into. And thinking, well, how do I get in touch with this person? I have always said when I work with my clients that members of Congress are just as mortal as you are. They are human beings. They have feelings. They are busy people who are trying to do everything they can to service their constituents, and there should be a deference of respect given to them, but also realize that they can't be every place everywhere at one time, and that the important thing is to make your presence known and approach them. Have a conversation with them and do your best to be heard.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about the gatekeeper? I know we have 2 more episodes and we talk much more about gatekeepers and kind of overcoming the common objections and overcoming those objections. Is there anything else you want to, as an introduction about the gatekeeper, add?
I would say that the word gatekeeper is a rather pejorative connotation. And I should have started out with that, but it's bandied about around in our culture these days, this term, and I think when we take a step back from that word of going, okay, this is a negative definition, but to always to help us and your listeners realize that these people serve a professional, important purpose.
Well, thank you so much for being here and talking about that. And how if a listener wants to get a hold of you, maybe to ask you a question, maybe to speak with you about possibly to engage you and your firm, the firm you work with, for business, what's the best way that they can get a hold of you?
The best way actually is through LinkedIn. So Sylvester Giustino, I don't think there's many like me with that name out there, so find me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to talk.
Great.
Answer any questions.
Well, great. Thank you so much. And just to let our listeners know, our next episode, we're going to talk about 2 key items. We're going to talk about some of the common roadblocks or gates that Sylvester has encountered, but we're also going to talk about how to overcome those objections or gates. So we hope that you'll listen in to episode 2 on those particular issues. And to all my listeners, if you've learned something from this episode, please take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, or even share this episode with a friend. And to learn more about how I can assist you and your organization with an appropriate learning solution to meet your business needs, please visit my website at afoolforlearning.com. This is Joseph Barone, aka A Fool for Learning, signing out. Remember, learn, perform, succeed.